Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to more Divinity Original Sin 2. Previously, well, we awakened on this ship and explored about for 24 minutes before we even came to the first floor, pretty much. And we also received a quest, but we cannot do it. You have to be an elf for it. So, this episode, well, we're going to talk to all the characters on ship. We'll start with Sibyl.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
She shakes her head.
Game for one, I'm afraid. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no, but I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She looks at you in surprise when you bare an arm of bone.
My. Guess I'll have to find out the memory from marrow, won't I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers, watching, staring at them, hoping that none would stare back. You were thinking of flesh, or, to be rather more precise, the pleasures of the flesh, those that have eluded you for so long.
She pats you on the shoulder consolingly.
There, don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
Sibyl is an interesting character.
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sob story somewhere else.
Nothing from him. But we'll talk to Iffin next.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You, lizard, what's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
That's nice, ain't it? Now, I think we can actually pick this lock. I'm actually quite curious now. We're probably going to get stopped by it. I've never attempted before. Though it doesn't look like we'll be able to. Nah, Thievery level too low. And there's no way to raise our Thievery level, unfortunately, unless we use mods.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us
Yeah, we
off
don't
one
need
by
that. Get the beer ball. It heals, but can make us be drunk.
Forgive me, Kin. Were that I had more than gruel to serve, if I'd more than cornmeal and rotting roots, I'd concoct something more fitting. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
Well, well, what have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
There's some discoloration, as well as a rather disconcerting lack of tongue and gums, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most satisfactory answer indeed. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and groom. Well, that just about settles it. I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave. My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of this honor to sink in. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now, shoo!
You guys can kind of tell now.
Just
Why me and my friends call him the Red Prick.
You and you shut up.
Though he is
Old dwarf
technically a
sits slightly
prince.
upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms
Well, he is a
face up on his
prince.
knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
His eyes snap open. He looks at you and frowns.
Murder. Ah, that's what they were going on and on about. I wouldn't know anything about it. I'd kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it. And the mayor knows who done it too.
His eyes flutter shut, and he assumes his position of repose once more.
Whether they catch me is another matter. But I ain't one to hide my accomplishments. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash, and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And
Got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
that isn't anger. It's
He cocks his ear to the other side, then smiles.
anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Pardon my beard. That means if we've been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water.
Captain, actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the Joy. Close to what lies beyond it, too.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge you anymore.
Shame.
The Magisters are out for blood. You saw the body, didn't you? Big bruiser like you ought to be able to take 'em on.
I always knew you'd turn up rotten, Ben Nest.
Speak to the dog.
You! Sorcerer! Blood!
No.
Go! Ruff!
The dog has nothing to say.
Name? I don't like comedy. The Divine Order wants to know. Not so fast. Name? Well, you aren't here on my list. Scrammy, we're trying to catch a killer here.
I forgot how to sing. I did. I'm here because I'm magic. Are you here because you're weird?
Jeez! Savage
Hello,
kid.
Losa. She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la. Wow. Are you a dragon? You look like a dragon. But where are your wings?
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
This is a really good character in this game. And luckily all these legacy characters, we can team up with them. In a mod playthrough that I'm going to do, I'm going to pair up with all of them because there's a mod for it.
They don't care about us.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and examines your bandages, rubbing them between his fingers.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
What purpose did that serve? Was that a greeting? Was it... Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How difficult. You have my sincere apologies. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once. Ah, yes. the niceties. My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... well, I am a seeker of knowledge. That is enough. It is pleasurable to meet you. Hardly. I've been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
The elf's face freezes for just a second before he waves his hand dismissively.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curiosities. We mortals do like to consider these things, do we not? Now, please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far? Trust me, with Bishop Alexander in charge, things will get a lot better from here on out. He's God-woken, you know. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Now we pop in here.
And if she tries to run...
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
Oh dear God.
What's happened?
Now we have some people to do, I guess. But yeah, Wendigo is actually the murderer. We're gonna equip this shield and we're gonna equip this improvised wand. Now, at this point we only have a certain amount of time to get through the ship and do some stuff. We're gonna just try to get through it. So now we can go into the kitchen. There's a green book in there. That's a recipe book. It'll tell you recipes, but you can just learn them normally. So I would recommend it.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.
The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls, the hairs on its back prickling as it lowers itself into a lunge.
Sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Please, make it stop.
The hound sees you reach for your weapon and growls. Then...
Oh, that was a fighting option. I kind of forgot about that. But yeah, we can't save the dog. It's an optional fight. But yeah, this is our first fight. You can click on enemies or you can click their portraits on the top. I recommend hitting the portrait at the top. Oh yeah, we have a shield. Some weapons give you skills. We'll use it. A shield gives us defense. It heals us, which is pretty cool. Well, it doesn't heal us, but it gives us a skill that restores our physical armor. If you want to have armor, you will start taking damage. So you gotta be careful about that. And I'm near dead. But it is blue armor as well, which my incarnate has. If you want to have magic armor, you will start taking health damage. No, I don't think we can get in here.
That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
We're gonna try and get in here because there is loot. There you go. Unlocked using bony fingers.
Thank God.
Do all that.
By divine grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer.
He leaps to attention and brandishes his blade.
Yeah, now I've got another fight. We're going to use dimensional bolts. Because when you use it, it spawns a surface on the ground, which is really cool. And we're just gonna sit still. Now spawning kind of on specific surfaces. Oh, that's not good. Taking them different stuff. Like because I spawned it on ice or water, it does magic damage, which is really handy. This is why I chose the Conjurer class because it's just brilliant. And we'll spawn a poison totem because the poison totem can just heal us, which is good. And Rex is dead. And we are running out of time. I'm gonna try to one through this. In fact, we'll enable this skill. Do the stuff we can look for. Like right there is Fame.
Something's pounding on the hull.
But we're not going to worry about that.
You press your palm against it, doesn't budge.
There is a key we can get around here, but there's actually nothing interesting in there. If you go in there, there is something that can insta-kill you, which we'll find later on, but if you're undead, you will not die to it. So we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, as a conjurer, we're pretty much going to be doing this a lot. Just summoning stuff. Which is, it's just a fun class. That's why I chose it. I usually always play Summoner or Conjurer because it's just a fun class. You get all sorts of cool stuff. So I can never complain. I want to show how powerful it can be. For the model playthrough, I'll probably play a different class because there's Polymorph and Pyrokinetic, which no character really takes the skills that they have. But they have some cool stuff. Nothing there.
A lifeboat. That means there's still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
Yeah, it's because it's another quest. We're gonna head down. Now we can go back here and help this person. We're not going to. We're gonna go in here because all legacy characters are in here. They're having a bit of a fight. Let's see. I will go with dimensional bolts because having a blood surface could be useful. And we're gonna do this because this is a very nice way to summon an incarnate. Because now it gets a leech skill, which is just fantastic. Gives you an infinite range attack with lifesteal. As you can see, the incarnate is dying a bit. That won't last too long, so don't worry about it. This allows us to see legacy characters' classes as well and what they do. They also do different stuff based on the playthrough. Ooh.
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
But typically they'll have the same sort of things. Like in Lose's case, she's a Hydrosophist. Lose is usually a Necromancer? I think she is here, I'm not quite sure. Even Bedmez is usually an archer. But Prince is a Geomancer, which is all about buffing armor and all sorts of cool skills. It's all about survivability. And Beast is the only character that actually gets hybrid skills. He's an Aerophurge and Warfare user. Which you can go over what they'll do in time. But we'll save that for the playthrough where we pair up with everyone. I am going to pair up with one character from here. I'm not going to say who. But we will pair up with them. So there's no worries there. There we go, do that. There.
I hear something.
No, let's head on down. We'll try and help Magister Siwan.
Sounds like she needs help.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth, soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Siwan clutches your arm, her eyes locked with yours. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. Siwan struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan, then cracks.
Oh dear.
It's ripping the ship apart.
Yeah, we can't get up.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
And no matter what, you cannot escape the ship. This always happens.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orivan.